Well, as I mentioned to all of you and those on social media, this week will be the biggest week in MLS collectively, MLS transfer window history, as we see a steady flow of players coming to a variety of teams. It's going to be big for no other reasons that we have 30 mouths to feed in MLS, and everyone's got to keep up with the Joneses. Last week was big. This week's shaping up to be bigger, and the cherry on top could be a move by Neymar to what's being reported as a variety of clubs all over the planet, specifically the Chicago Fire, which came up, which is interesting. I'm not going to say it makes sense, but there is some sense to it. And we're going to break that down here on the Soccer OG. An emergency OG. Quick, sweet, to the point. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Leave a comment. I love the discourse. Let us have a conversation. Let's talk Neymar. This is coming off, a big move that is occurring with him in Saudi Arabia. He's with Al Hilal, and his contract ends up in the summer. And Jorge Jesus, the manager there, who's a big name. He's Portuguese. A few years ago, 2-3 years ago, won the Copa Libertadores, the Champions League in South America with Flamengo. He's been at Benfica a few times. He's a big name. He's 70 years old. But Jorge Jesus is a manager I think most people in the game know who he is. So he came out and he said, we will, my goodness, I can't read anything anymore, folks. I'm so sorry. He can participate in the Asian Champions League. He will not be registered physically. Neymar can no longer perform at the level we are used to. And you can take that in several ways. You can just go gangbusters and say, Neymar's washed up. Or he's just not getting healthy enough on the timetable. I think it's more that. I don't think he's saying that Neymar is just not good enough for Al Hilal, just under these circumstances. And this is a big part of the story, is the injuries, right? He tore his ACL. He's played 3 games total for Al Hilal in what was a $103 million move. $100 million. Crazy. And by the way, I don't think that kind of money's on the table anymore for anyone at this point. Maybe for Mbappe, I don't know, or Lamine Yamal, but $100 million certainly for these guys, it's not on. And we'll see what happens with the Saudi League, because that's where the money was at. Who is going to pay Neymar $100 million a year? Nobody. And I wonder if the Saudi League, which, their move hasn't gone great, although they're functioning, a lot of fans come up, but I think they're realizing, get some younger players for a little more inexpensive. You still have to overpay, and they'll find their sweet spot. But that said, Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr has played 100 games. He scores like 85 goals. It's unbelievable. The payoff that Al Nassr is getting for Cristiano Ronaldo. And he has been the poster boy of Saudi football. We're going to get a little sidetracked, but you got to discuss the Saudi League because it's all part of this. Neymar's been the exact opposite. And the career of injuries, few players can match this. Even this one with the ACL, the 2022 World Cup, he was in the 2014 World Cup, which was in his home country. He was in 2018. He was with 2022, and people forget that, played the opener, injured his ankle, missed the next 2 group stage games, and then played Korea. But it just was so broken up for Neymar in 2022. But that said, 2022, not that long ago. Before that, Neymar was playing great. He was playing top drawer Neymar. So, you have that player. We know he is phenomenal. He's won so many trophies, 21 trophies, with Santos, his boyhood club, with Barcelona, where he played with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, and then Paris Saint-Germain. And the injuries hit hard. He's 32, which is old, but not old. So we're here at this situation. I'll wrap that up with the Saudi League, because he's going to want... Take a look at what we're hearing reported about MLS clubs. But his his agent and his dad, who's involved, they know they're going to get the most because they know this is probably his last big contract. But I don't know anyone, if it's not Saudi, the big money moves aren't happening in Europe or Man City or Paris Saint-Germain. They don't. PSG just had Neymar. They don't want Neymar. Who else? Real Madrid can't spend. Barcelona can't spend. Anyone outside of the big names. Liverpool, nope. So where will Neymar go? Really, MLS, after the Saudi move, and look, these other Saudi teams can sign him. And by the way, his contract, I think I said, ends in summer. So to accelerate this and get off the books and get off the roster means this would be a winter move. Perfect for MLS. But could another Saudi team come in and sign him? I mean, as these Saudi teams are looking and say, we've seen this up close. We don't want that. $100 million and he's played 3 games. Whew, it's a lot of money. I don't care if your pockets drop to the floor. That's a lot of money to not getting any payback when you see what Al Nassr is getting with Cristiano Ronaldo. In the big picture of things, MLS has the biggest name in the world, Lionel Messi. The next biggest name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Then probably it's Neymar, and then there's a few other guys younger that are pushing. I mean, you would definitely like one of these younger players because the kids know who they are and would associate with Lamine Yamal or Cole Palmer or Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius. But there is an appeal for MLS to have a guy like Neymar. And MLS has big South American stars, which is important. You have the biggest name in Argentina in Messi, the biggest name in Uruguay in Luis Suarez, almost had James. And I didn't want James in MLS. But this is why Neymar makes a lot of sense too. He's the biggest star in Brazil, and James is the biggest star in Colombia. Those are the big 4 nations in South American football. And they pay attention to MLS, whether Neymar plays or not. Argentines pay attention to MLS. So in a PR move, this is massive. And Brazil is massive. 220 million Brazilians. It's almost as much, it's not almost, but creeping up to the United States. What is it, like 320 or what have you. That's a lot, and people would pay attention. So that is worthwhile. But to have those big stars, even for a year or two all here, would be fantastic. So we have heard Neymar rumors, and it was to Inter Miami, which is exciting, but you're like, people are going to watch Inter Miami. We all know. To get bang for the buck, if Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar were to come here, they got to go to different clubs. Remember, there was that one rumor before signing with Al Nassr that Cristiano Ronaldo would go to Sporting Kansas City, which is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. And he could circle back, and he looks like he could keep playing. Look at those numbers. But Neymar, horrible injury record, but because of what happened in 2022, you feel like he could still provide something on the field. So, as for him coming here, a lot of clubs have been mentioned. Inter Miami, Inter Miami doesn't make a lot of sense other than nostalgia. So I think they all understand that. And it'd be so good for the league to have another club that you could get excited about with Neymar. And Chicago Fire has been at the top of the list. I want to say something about the most tired narrative. Gregg Berhalter is in charge in Chicago. And everyone continues to take shots at Gregg Berhalter. Let it go, for crying out loud. I know that's the only way a lot of people get traffic. Gregg Berhalter. Ah! Oh my God, I was on Twitter. It was embarrassing. Gregg Berhalter coaching Neymar. What do you think Neymar is going to do if he goes to Chicago Fire? He's going to run beep tests? Is he going to be sitting there in the tape sessions, right? It's not going to be your traditional coach-player situation, which may give Gregg Berhalter some pause. But to use this opportunity to take shots at Gregg Berhalter, I know Gregg Berhalter isn't Jorge Jesus or Mauricio Pochettino, but he's a good coach, and it's Chicago. This is a reboot. I just it's so tired. Find some new material. If that's what you take out of this, that it's not Neymar coming in, that he's playing for Gregg Berhalter, I don't know. It's tired. So the deal that they would be looking for is something similar to what Messi got. $20 million a year, and I think Tom Bogert, got to give him credit, he's been all over this, and a stake, whatever that looks like, in a club, in the league, in Apple TV. $20 million, the price is good. He wants more than that, but can he get more than that? The only other place, and if they need to get a lot of help, is if he goes to his boyhood club in Santos. That's the one I think that somehow, I don't know if they can get more than $20 million, but $20 million sounds like crazy a lot, but I assure you the Neymar camp is thinking somewhere between 20 and 100. He's not getting more than Messi, and you'd be insane with everything I've told you, the track record, this horrible send-off at Al Hilal, to think he gets paid more than that. So Chicago, great, incredible new owner, Joe Mansueto. They're going to get a new stadium. He is building. It makes a lot of sense to come in and have a high-profile player like this, whether he plays or not. Get people excited about the club, the brand, and they've already made some nice signings. So Chicago's going to be a club to keep an eye on, and maybe a tentpole club in MLS. We shall see. So Neymar, if you have that kind of money, and Mansueto does, makes sense to bring him in, get people excited. Hopefully he plays more than 3 games, but I wouldn't get carried away to think that in a 34-game season he plays more than 15. If he plays 15, I'm like, sign the papers, as little as that sounds. Because this is a move about getting eyeballs on the league, about boosting your club, about selling tickets, selling merchandise. Even if he doesn't play, 3 games would be a disaster, but if he plays 15, 20 games, do it. It's not my money. It's not my money. So I'm speaking on behalf of other ones, but I think it does make sense to make that move because it's Neymar. And he would come here before the 2026 World Cup, and you could do the Rocky montages of Neymar getting ready to join Brazil to see if they can finally get it done. He is still good enough, and those players on that Brazil team idolize him. So much like Messi in Argentina, even though he won a World Cup, Neymar, healthy, returning to Brazil, he would be welcomed with open arms. And he is a rock star. Everything makes so much sense, and it's great, except for the injuries. Except for the injuries. There are a lot of weird things in his closet, his political views. I mean, I talk to a lot of Brazilians, and Brazilians idolize him, but a lot of them move away because of his association with Bolsonaro, who's not in power. But there was a lot of Brazilian players that did that, and the salt of the earth Brazilians don't like that. I'm not getting into politics, but I'm just telling you what it is. The gambling, other things, there's a lot. He is not Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is perfection in a superstar player. Perfection. Plays, cares about it, good kid, doesn't get into trouble. He's not a kid anymore. You're not going to get that, so you're going to have to take a few risks. But I would think this is a risk worth taking. I know there's some MLS teams mentioned. I don't think they fit quite right like the Chicago Fire, so go for it. Do I think this will happen? And hopefully, I'm recording this on a Thursday. Hopefully Friday, news breaks that he's signing with the Chicago Fire, but I don't think it happens. I think his next club will be Santos, and so long Neymar, because it's going to be hard to get this over the finish line. But again, I hope I'm wrong. The Soccer OG, like and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going. Leave a comment. I've had some comments about the podcast. It's coming back, so do not fret. We'll talk to you soon. Neymar, I'm here. Obrigado.